Hi everybody, it's Joaquin from Carrollwood Estates. We're gonna take a look at Brentwood and how it performed this June, and I'm also gonna discuss the buyer when we know that, and more so in my newsletter. First up, we have 645 Tuallitan Rd. This one sold for 15.167 million. This is one of the most important modern houses in Brentwood. It's called the Shulman House, and it just came to market for the first time in more than a decade. So here's the story for this one. It was built in 1992 for Tom Shulman, the screenwriter who he won the Oscar for Dead Poet Society, and he hired architect Stephen Ehrlich, and Ehrlich delivered a masterpiece. So the house won an American Institute of Architects National Award, one of the highest honors in American architecture, and something very few private homes ever receive. So the property, it sits on 1.3 acres in this very private canyon setting. You reach it by a long driveway. You can't see it from the street. The house, it's organized as two wings, and they kind of stretch across the hillside and connect in the middle through walls of glass, and almost every room opens directly to the garden, and the interior and exterior, they really just blend together. And take a look at the entry. You have a stone walkway that crosses through the garden like a bridge, with these huge sycamore trees growing directly through the courtyard. At night, the entire center of the house glows like a lantern, and more than 8,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, a pool, huge lawn, total privacy. This was an amazing deal. Next up, we have 13120 Nimrod Pl. This one just sold for 10.3 million. So the backyard ends at Riviera Country Club, not near it, on it. That's very special. This is Nimrod Place. It's in the polo fields. It sits at the end of a private cul-de-sac, and the rear property line is literally the golf course. And so here's why that matters. As you probably know, the Riviera is one of the most famous golf courses in the world. It hosts the Genesis Invitational every year. The US Women's Open was recently played here. The 2028 Olympics are coming, and then the US Open in 2031. So the view is not just grass, it's a front row seat to championship golf, and it can never be built on. So now let's take a look at the house. It's brand new, about 7,000 square feet, with 5 bedrooms, each with its own bathroom. The entire back of the house, it's just glass. The doors slide away completely, and the living room just becomes part of the backyard. There's a covered outdoor lounge with heaters and a fireplace, then the pool, the spa, the fire pit, and the fairway directly behind it. Inside, there's 2 full kitchens, one for show, one for prep, very great for hosting. And then I really like the staircase. The staircase, it's wrapped in this green tinted glass and kind of reads almost like a sculpture. The finishes, they're limestone, white oak throughout, warm, calm, very done. So here's the thing with this one. You can always build a beautiful house, but you cannot build a view of the Riviera. There's only a handful of homes directly on the course, and this is one of them. And this is one of the lowest prices you'll see for a brand new house with this sort of view and location. So moving on, we have 155 N Anita Ave. This one sold for 8.87 million. We have a newly constructed modern French residence north of Sunset that blends this timeless European influence with a refined contemporary aesthetic. So outside, you have a slate style mansard roof, a turret, bold choice, and arched steel frame windows. Inside, we have a floating staircase and gallery white volumes. So at almost 10,000 square feet across 3 levels, it reads like a kind of this Parisian hotel, reinterpreted for the way Brentwood actually lives. It's very open, it's filled with light, and it's engineered to entertain. So also, I really like this. It has a full amenity package, of course. We have a pool and spa, a turf lawn, a cabana, a pergola, a rooftop deck, theater, wine cellar, tasting room, a gym with an infrared sauna, and bars on 2 levels. So the buyer, they're in finance, and they're coming from Manhattan Beach. Next up, we have 140 South Burlingame Ave. This one sold for 7.15 million. Here, we have a 1939 American traditional on an elevated half-acre in Brentwood Park. This one was held for decades, and it's sold off market. So the house, it's about 3,300 square feet, single story and largely original. Nobody paid $7.15 million for the house. They paid for the land. The lot, it's more than half an acre, but about 15,000 square feet of it is flat. So it also sits on this very nice private pad. It sits above the street, has a gated driveway, brick walls, these huge old trees. When you adjust the land value to the flat portion of the lot, this sale kind of works out to about $476 per square foot of land, which is much more in line with the market. A good comp for you, 222 Avondale, that was about a 15,000 square foot flat lot. That one sold for $8.75 million this year. So we have roughly a 20% discount here. My opinion, that comes primarily from the proximity to Sunset. Next up, we have 2520 La Condesa Drive. This one sold for $6.23 million. We have a light-filled modern farmhouse estate at the end of a tree-lined cul-de-sac in Brentwood Hills. We have this crisp white shiplap siding, dark brick outside, coffered ceilings, and this very confident navy millwork choice inside. It was completed in 2019 on a nearly 20,000 square foot lot with the sweeping Santa Monica Mountains for a view. It delivers a resort style backyard, smart home technology, and something rare in this style, interiors with actual personality. Take a look at the room off the entry, navy blue from the floor to the ceiling. Even the ceiling beams are blue. There's a grand piano, an entire wall of bookshelves, and it's one of the first impressions that have been so bold that I've seen in a while. The blue, it continues through the kitchen island and the movie theater, all paired with brass. It feels custom, not builder basic. We have 5 bedrooms, smart home system, solar, the full amenity package, and it all feeds into Kenter Canyon and Palisades High. A lot of value there. The buyer, they're coming from Pacific Palisades, and they're the co-head of U.S. private capital for BlackRock. Next up, we have 12637 Homewood Way. This one sold for $5.275 million. We have a truly shovel-ready opportunity on one of Brentwood's most coveted streets, and this is a nice cul-de-sac on that street. This is an 18,000 square foot lot north of Sunset, delivered with approved plans for a 6,500 square foot modern ranch estate. Very elegant modern lines, more natural materials. The plans look great, but I would not be surprised if the buyer ultimately maximizes the lot, adds a basement, and ends up closer to 9,500 square feet. The buyer, they're one of the chief executives at Skims, and they're coming from Sherman Oaks. Considering the recent sale of 260 Homewood Road for $18 million on another 18,000 square foot lot, this looks like an amazing land sale for the buyer. 260 Homewood really is the perfect distance from Sunset. This one is a little bit farther up the street, but the spread between the land price and the finished home value is substantial still. Next up, we have 919 South Gretna Green Way. This one sold for $4.892 million. This is a refined expression of Mediterranean style in prime Brentwood. Outside, you have barrel tiles. We have this ochre stucco and stacked column magajas. Inside, we have Brazilian walnut floors, a dining room in hand-finished glazed soft gold plaster, an office with leather textured walls, that's unique, and floor-to-ceiling wood cabinetry. At nearly 5,500 square feet, with a detached and suite studio above the garage, this is a sizable home. The garage and the detached studio, they do take up a significant portion of the yard. I think the value here is really in the structure and the scale, and the next buyer is likely to renovate. This was a good sale at $4.9 million for Brentwood, south of Montana. Big sale for this pocket. The buyer, they're coming from the flats in Beverly Hills. He's an Indonesian politician and former member of the country's House of Representatives. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Next, 1215 Chickory Ln. This one just sold for $4.675 million. 3 beds, 4 baths, 3,200 square feet on a 21,000 square foot lot. This one is an award-winning contemporary that reimagines classic mid-century architecture through a sophisticated 21st century lens. The house, it's wrapped in floor-to-ceiling glass, and it's set against explosive city-to-ocean views stretching from downtown to Catalina. This is more modernism at its most disciplined, clean architectural lines, honest materials, and a hillside site that turns every sunset into a work of art. This is one of the best sunset views in Brentwood. Chickory Ln is an amazing street. It's secluded. It's this nice secluded cul-de-sac off Tigertail. It sits within Crestwood Hills, the post-war co-op neighborhood, master planned by Quincy Jones, Whitney Smith, and structural engineer Edgardo Contini, and began in 1948. So it was the only successful housing co-op built in California during the immediate post-war years, and its architectural guidelines established a very specific material vocabulary. We want exposed concrete block, redwood siding, Douglas fir ceilings, just broad expanses of glass that extend the sight lines out toward the property line. Neutra built on Tigertail. Craig Elwood placed one of his steel hillside houses at the crest of the same road, and this is kind of the modernist heart of Brentwood. The original 1957 structure came out of that era, and the current residence really honors those mid-century roots while kind of still rebuilding the idea at a scale and level of finish that the original co-op could have never afforded. The buyer, they're a director of securitized markets at Wells Fargo, and they're coming from Marina Del Rey. Next, we have 162 South Gretna Green Way. This one sold for $4.65 million. This one, 4 beds, 4 baths, almost 3,100 square feet on a 7,300 square foot lot. This one sold off market, a 1939 East Coast traditional in Brentwood Flats, reimagined with modern restraint. So I love the clapboard and the shutters outside, the Zalige tiles, the unlacquered brass, the steel framed glass inside. And it's all wrapped around a secluded lagoon pool beneath a canopy of mature trees. It has this settled, layered warmth of a house that's been loved for decades and edited by someone with a very good eye. So this is pre-war Brentwood at its most authentic. The house dates to 1939, the same era that built out this pocket between Sunset and San Vicente when the neighborhood's architects were working from the New England pattern book. We have horizontal clapboard siding, multi-pane double hung windows, framed by dark shutters, prominent painted brick chimneys, brick garden path, and a low white gate between whitewashed brick piers here. Next, we have 443 North Greencraig Rd. This one sold for $3.8 million. This one also sold off market. It's a 1963 mid-century post and beam in the Brentwood Hills, and it's been extensively remodeled into something straight out of the pages of a design magazine. We have vaulted wood beam ceilings, walls of glass, French oak floors, and a sunset entertaining deck kind of just floating in the treetops. It reads really like a collector's house, very art forward, it's tailored, completely private, with the sense of escape that the hills are known for. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. That was the last one. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, give us a call, shoot us a text, an email. Let us present our approach and share our thoughts on how to best maximize your asset before coming to market. We have an excellent network of professionals to prep the house, basic paint, landscaping, decluttering, minor remodel, full remodel, interior designer, and staging, of course. And if you're looking to buy, let us connect you with the off-market properties that we have available and that we know are available. Give me a call, 310-943-0909. Thank you.